Hey Leo, what's going on? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is Page of Wands, and we also have Four of Swords, and I'm also seeing Three of Swords. You can be taking some time to rest, taking some time to heal with Page of Wands or recover from something. With Page of Wands, this feels like a set place where there's something going on that you're up to. Having that Four of Swords and having that Three of Swords can be pausing, and it can be taking a break because there's something that you need to recover from. So that doesn't take you off the path. It feels kind of like if you're driving down the road that you sort of pull off to the side for a little bit. And so you're still there, and all you have to do to get back on the path is just like get back on the road. But this feels like a pulling off to the side for now. Feels like this has to do with something actually pretty significant that you have going on right now. Okay. I'm seeing Emperor and I'm seeing Ten of Swords. Yeah, maybe for some reason you can't go down that path right now that you were going down. Like something has happened, because I do feel you kind of being pulled off to the side where something isn't continuing, at least for right now. Maybe this also felt like it wasn't your choice. Like maybe you had every intention to sort of stay on that road and stay on that path, and because of maybe some external circumstances, you're being pulled off to the side of the road. Having Emperor and having Ten of Swords feels like a moment when you may have in your head been like, this is what I'm going to be pursuing, but now that something is happening, it feels kind of like needing to deal with that. And it also feels too like this is calling you to action because you have to look around at something. It feels like with the energy of the Emperor, this is kind of like what we're doing with our lives. And so something big is going on here where it does look like something is coming to an end, and it feels like gathering information about that happening. And what can also be happening too is having to like look around in the aftermath. I think of like what's going to be happening next too. That can be part of this as well. I feel like this is a big deal, but not the biggest deal. Like with the Emperor, you can have multiple things going on within your life, and this can be one of those things that does hold importance, but it is coming to an end in some way. But that doesn't mean that you don't also have other things going on. And because of this happening, you can be having conversations about what's concluding. You can be looking out, sort of like planning maybe what's going to be happening next. Something that I was seeing in the pre-shuffle was about making sure that you are prioritizing, because there can be something going on where maybe you're feeling affected by this, and maybe there's a part of you that sort of wants to duck out of, I don't know, something that needs to be prioritized. I don't know what it is exactly, but maybe there's a part of you that's like, focus on this, focus on that, and it's not even the most important stuff for you to be looking at right now. You can also be trying to find out what happened with the Ten of Swords too. Like why is this coming to an end? What's going on with that? I see how the Page of Swords is looking at that. You can maybe want to know more about what that is, and maybe also what that means for you now. Well, what's going to be happening? Because I do feel like this is something that does impact you in a big way. And so you can be trying to get information about that, figure out what's going to be happening, like what the implications are of this. This can be too something that you liked doing as well. Like maybe this was a path that you liked being on, and now that this is happening, it can kind of rearrange things for you a bit. Seeing something that you may not really want to let go of. We have Four of Pentacles below Page of Wands. This is like, I don't really want to get off of the path. Even though it feels like you can't really travel further on it currently. Maybe there's also a part of you that feels like looking into what's going on because maybe you are having a hard time totally coming to terms with this. Why I'm saying this is I'm seeing Four of Pentacles be connected with Four of Swords. So this can be a part of you that's maybe having a hard time letting go a little bit here. And also too, you can be figuring out how to stabilize yourself. That can be part of this as well. You can be feeling kind of concerned though. Like, I get the feeling of something is meant to be you sort of taken out of the action so you can, I think, ground, so you can balance mentally, and it feels like just worrying about things. So you may feel not very calm, because generally with the Four of Swords, it's meant to be a time where other things kind of get frozen so you can just settle, so you can stabilize, so you can ground, so you can focus, so you can silence things around you so that you can think loudly and clearly. But having that Nine of Swords, maybe all you can feel and all you can hear and all you can think at that point in time is just like maybe how worried you are about the future and what's going to be happening. Because that Nine of Swords is generally, I see it as being a card that indicates like, I'm scared of the unknown. I'm scared of what's going to be happening. There's change that's occurring, and like, what is it going to be? And looking at it in a way where there can be a lack of security, a feeling of a lack of security. There can be concern. There can be worry. There can be anxiety in the anticipation. And having that Four of Pentacles there too, you can be like, I don't want things to change. I don't want to let go. I don't want to have to like do something differently. And I think that part too of being like, I'm comfortable, and now this is making me feel uncomfortable. I'm not seeing you staying in that position for long. It feels like it's going to be very intense, but then I'm seeing it's going to pass quickly. So just know that. I feel like this is also going to motivate you to move forward. I'm seeing that there's going to be a move that's made, I think, into something that feels more substantial than what was going on. But right now, you cannot like this just because of the part where it's change and it's uncomfortable and may feel inconvenient. Take time to take care of yourself first, even though it can feel hard to sort of unplug. Or pause even. But it feels like that's actually really necessary here because of not being in a space where it looks like action should really be taken if you're kind of all over the place. And even though it may force you to have to be present to something that maybe doesn't feel good to be present to, I'm seeing it pass very quickly. I want to say this again. The feeling is when everything goes quiet and you come face to face with everything that you're feeling and thinking about this, it feels very intense and that can feel very uncomfortable, but then I'm seeing it pass very quickly. So it feels like a very intense moment of everything that feels uncomfortable, maybe painful, disappointing, upsetting, all of those things about this, but then I'm seeing it pass very quickly. I'm not seeing you stay within that. It looks like things move very quickly after that. And I also feel like it clarifies some things majorly for you. You're moving into a new chapter. I'm seeing you be better off than where you started, but you're gonna not know that until you get to that point. But this is what I'm seeing. You're moving into a place where there's going to be great clarity that you gain. This can also feel like a breakthrough in a very significant aspect, in a very significant area of your life. This is going to be a big, important area of your life that you're going to be starting a new chapter with, and that you're going to be having a major breakthrough with. And this feels very much like one of those things where we kind of get forced into a situation and we can go kicking and screaming a little bit, but then you come out on the other side and you're like, wow, I'm so much better off. And so it kind of forces you into one of those situations, but you're going to be better off for it, is what I'm seeing. And then it feels like all of the anguish and everything else from that then comes to an end, and you're like, oh, it's okay. It just feels like one of those things, but let yourself feel what you need to feel to move through this. I am seeing things, this leads you to a better place, and I think it gives you a type of clarity that you didn't have before. And it also feels like the beginning of a very important chapter that's happening as well. And I think with a bit of a different mindset than you had too. Because I actually think that what was going on before, it doesn't feel like it was maintaining what needed to be maintained, and it also felt like it was disruptive to stability and harmony within your life, and that's actually what this is going to establish now. Something was happening in a way, I think, that it wasn't really so functional, and even though you can have a hard time letting go of it because you could have felt still comfortable, could have felt dysfunctional, but it could have felt comfortable to you. What you're going to be doing is you're moving into a much better, this is going to be much more complementary for the life that you see for yourself. It's going to coincide with that. I do feel like you're kind of being forced into this a little bit, like life circumstance type of thing. That's what this feels like to me. At the same time, you will be better off for it. That doesn't mean you don't have to fight and do whatever it is that you want to. You may feel kind of resistant to this, but once you let yourself feel everything that you're feeling about it, that's when I'm seeing you move through quickly. So it feels like you can fight it, you can fight it, you can fight it. But as soon as you let everything go quiet and you just be present to everything you're thinking and feeling, I'm seeing things move. You move through that, you move out of that very quickly. And I feel like your whole attitude and mindset changes. And it also feels too like all of the parts of suffering of this are then over. And things do feel better immediately after. I think too that this is giving you insight to understand the part of you that you may really not want to be uncomfortable here, and it's going to be uncomfortable for a little bit, but it will be much better later for you, like after this. Because what I'm seeing is that starting point, as far as we're seeing with the reading, things aren't as good as they can be. And there's something that needs to be established that I don't think can be established within this old way, within this old situation. And so that's why the shift is occurring. And so even though you can feel very upset about things coming to an end, you will feel like it's putting you in a much better situation that is much more, it coincides with the vision that you have for yourself of your life and the life that you want to be living. And I think ultimately that this is going to teach you the importance of harmony and stability within your life in a way where what was going on before, it was very much lacking that, but you may have just been used to it and you were comfortable in that and you were familiar with that. This is moving into a better place. It's going to be much more agreeable and it's going to be much more up to code. It will be more aligned with your standards that you have. Like, it's going to raise the bar for you. So something that initially you could have seen as just being very unwanted ends up being the key piece to bringing you the breakthrough that you needed, bringing you the opportunity that you needed, bringing you the change that you needed. I feel even too like this appoints you into a position that's much better suited for you. Take care of your mental health when you're going through this. You may hit a spot where you feel resistant to being present to something that can feel very uncomfortable to be present to. Once you allow yourself to be fully present to it, that's when you move through everything. This is going to be a big breakthrough that you have in a significant area of your life. You're going to be better off for this. Tell yourself that. Reassure yourself of that. There can be anxiety about things changing, about things closing out. Stuff is about to stabilize in a way that it wasn't before. Things are going to be better off. You're going to be better off than you were before. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process. You're on track. You are where you're supposed to be. Look into where you're fighting this. Look into where your resistance is. Once that resistance gives way, things happen quickly thereafter, and you move through. You land in a much better spot. It's gonna feel better. Coming out on the other side of this, you will feel that this is more fitting for you. I feel like that about does it. The pain, the anxiety, the suffering, the feeling uncomfortable, you will break out of that. Just know that it's very temporary. I'm seeing it can feel intense, but it will move quickly. It will pass quickly. The more present you are to it, the quicker it's going to pass. Try to be open. It's not going to be, it seems, from what I'm seeing, it's not going to be your initial instinct. Try to be open to this. I think if you're telling yourself that this is going to land you in a better situation, which I'm seeing it will, which you will see proof of that when you get there. If you can tell yourself that, if you can sort of affirm that for yourself, it will maybe help you be a bit more open-minded here with this, even though you may not initially feel like that. Because I think that this pulls you out of some familiarity. It pulls you out of some habits. It pulls you out of some stuff that felt routine, some stuff that maybe felt more comfortable. But this new situation that you're moving into, it's going to work much better. And you will feel that. You don't need to take my word for it. You will feel that. You will sense that. That will be what you notice. That will be what you see. It's time for this to be happening. You are going to be better off. And this will allow, it's going to allow for a breakthrough in a very important area of your life. Just to say that again. This is an important step that's happening here, and it's significant. And I think looking back, it's going to be, I think you'll see it as being more significant than it may feel like initially, just because you don't know where exactly things are going. But this will be a time that you look back on, and you'll know that this was a very significant point in time within your life, within the story of your life. Give yourself time to acclimate. Things are coming together. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.